Want to learn the most common hip-hop transition? Then let's take a look at how to use a baby scratch. So if you're like me and love to DJ and play hip-hop, you will have seen all your favorite DJs on YouTube doing some crazy scratching routines. Well, all scratch DJs started somewhere, and that's where the baby scratch comes in. A baby scratch is a great technique to drop one tune into another to add energy and difference into your DJ sets. And we're going to look at 3 ways on how to improve your technique with the baby scratch. Okay, so here we are inside Rekordbox. Now I have the Crossfader sample scratch tool loaded up on the left hand deck. So first of all, we're just going to set a cue point. If I just delete this one here, so we're just going to set our cue point on our scratch sample. So this is the sample. You might have heard that famous scratch sample. So what we need to do is we need to set a cue point right at the beginning of the sample. So I'll just press our first cue point. There we have it. Right on the beginning of our sample. So let's talk about hand placement. So we're going to place our hand at the 9 PM position right before the sample starts. So we don't want to apply loads of pressure, we want it to be quite relaxed, so we're in control of the jog wheel. So let's talk about what the baby scratch sounds like. So I'll perform the baby scratch and then we'll break it down. So baby scratch is essentially just moving your hand back and forth with the sample. So all we're doing is we're pushing forward on the sample and pulling back on the sample, and we want to make sure that we get right to the beginning of the sample before we push it forward. So we want a little bit of silence at the beginning of the sample. We don't want to be pulling back halfway through the sample, as it can sound really muddy. We don't want it to sound like that, we want it to sound clean. Now, you'll notice the quicker or slower I do it, the different tones you get from the sample. So I'll start off slow. And if we get a bit faster, you'll see that it goes a bit higher pitch. So just get used to what the baby scratch sounds like, moving that hand on the 9 PM position, backwards and forwards. Till you get comfortable with the sound. When you're comfortable with the sound, you can use different samples. So again, in the Crossfader scratch tool, I have set cue points on different sounds. So here we have snare drum. We have a kick and a fresh sample. So now we know what the baby scratch sounds like. Let's try introducing a beat on the right hand deck, and let's experiment with timings using the baby scratch. So once again, we're in the Crossfader DJ Tools pack, and I'm just going to set off a hip hop beat playing on deck number 2. Now we're going to experiment with the baby scratch timing, so I'll perform it and then we'll talk about it after. So like we said before, we've set our cue point on the beginning of our scratch sample, and we're just going to play along in time with the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can take this a step further. We're still going to scratch on beat, but we're going to speed up the tempo just slightly of the scratch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we know what the baby scratch is and we know how to use it in time. Let's try using it with 2 different songs and see how we can use that in a DJ set. So here I have 2 loops set up, hip hop loop number 4 and hip hop loop number 3. I'll play both the loops so you can hear the difference in both of them. So that's going to be our first hip hop loop. This is our second loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure our BPMs are similar and we're going to set cue points right at the beginning of our tracks. And what we're going to do is, using the crossfader as well, we're going to use a baby scratch to drop in from song to song. So I'll perform this and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So this is a great way to improve your scratching skills and improve your timing at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the crossfader to the right and we're going to press play on our right hand side. We're going to hit play on the left hand side but hold the deck. So the track isn't moving. We're going to move the crossfader into the center and count our baby scratch. 1, 2, 3, 4, drop. You see how I move the crossfader to the left hand side, so now the left hand side deck is playing. Let's go back to the right hand deck. So we're going to hit our first cue point, hold on to the jog wheel, crossfader comes into the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same again, back to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move the crossfader to the left so the left hand side starts playing. So the more you practice this technique, the better your baby scratch will become and the better your timing will get. And you can just get quicker and quicker as you go along. So there we are guys, we have learned the baby scratch, how to use it, what it is, how to improve our timing and how to use it in a DJ set when transitioning from one track to another. Don't forget all these samples that we used in this tutorial are available in the link in the description for you to download for free so you can play along with me and get better at your scratching. When you download the free sample pack, there will also be access to a free scratching lesson inside our scratching course. So if you want to improve your scratching, our scratching course is a great way for you to get better and master the art of scratching. Hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Make sure you drop some comments below if this helped you, what you want to improve on, how good is your scratch game. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll keep making these videos for you guys.